Hello folks, today I'm going to be taking a look at some new Dark Age miniatures from Victrix. These are late Roman horse archers. Okay, so the Victrix bag of Dark Age late Roman horse archers contains 12 models. On the back we have Victrix usual explanation of build, I suppose, as I like to think of it, the bingo card. Interestingly enough, with this release, they've actually also represented it visually. So everything that's on that bingo card about what goes with what is here as well. So as you can see, there are 4 horses, 2-part with a saddle. That's a must for every horse. And then the additional bed rolls, javelins, horse rolls, water bottles, flasks, whatever, they're all optional. Then on the other side we have our horse archers themselves. Bodies and arms listed along with heads. It does state that you can use any sword scabbard and any arrow quiver or bow quiver. And you've also got a set of shields. Looking at the sprues then. Our first is the horse sprue. As you can see, everything numbered. And then the horses are keyed front and back with the tail, and then an extra locking lug as well down here, which is nice. Just keeps them all sturdy, stops them from slipping when you're putting them together. The saddles are also keyed to the horse in particular. They're not a standard fit. This one in particular is very irregular in pattern, so it acts like another lock essentially. There's only one way you can build each of the horses, so you get 4 horse types with some, like I say, optional extras, things like the javelin and the like. And then we have our main sprue here. So couple of things to note. First off, the build instructions list all the bodies and legs. There is one which is incorrect. BA1, B1B. And we don't really have a BA1, B1B. We have a BA1 and a BA2. However, doesn't matter. All 4 torsos and legs are actually interchangeable. So you can put whatever one you want on, and likewise the majority of the arms can be used with the majority of the torsos. There are certain ones, if you want to have somebody firing an arrow from a bow, then you may want to make sure you've got the correct pair for that, but with a bit of wiggle room, most of them will fit. I go to the top. We have, I think 7 quivers. 2, 4, 5, 6. Where's the 7th? I know I've seen one. Oh yes, right down here. So we have 7 quivers per 4. There's also 4 little shields to go on the arm. They're textured, so you've got the slats of the wood on one side, and then they're completely flat on the other, so you can put on decals or paint your own design. We have 8 heads, 4 at the top, and then 4 at the bottom here. A mixture, 4 with caps, 4 without. And then we have our composite recurve bows, a selection of sword scabbards, again, more than you need. I think there's 6 scabbards, and then a whole slew of firing or unloaded bow options. Some, like this one, clasping additional arrows. There's even one here where it's a little stump of an arrow on an arm, and when situated correctly, it looks like the bowman is drawing an arrow from the quiver, so this broken stump goes into the top of one of the arrow quivers. And we have the bow quivers for the other side. You have empty, and then there's also one that contains the full bow itself and the sword underslung, and that's if you want to build the standard, because we have here the banner pole and Draco standard as well. So let's have a look at them built. Okay, so the first one here we have has got the Draco standard. Obviously these are set up as Dark Age Roman horse archers, so after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, or around that time, so when people are being recalled to Rome and they're shutting up shop in Britain and parts north. However, they'll also work very well for early Byzantine. So if you want your Eastern Romans, you can go with this as well. Assembly, very easy. Clean up, I've not done any yet, but getting them off the sprues was minimal. Mold lines are also minimal. A little bit of filling required on horse bums and at the front of the horses, where you get those two dividing lines. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not particularly bad. They've even carved out the reins, which I know will make Justin happy because he always likes to see a hole in the reins there. So there's our standard, and then some of our galloping horse archers. Because the torsos are separate from the legs, you can have them firing forward, off to one side, or even firing backwards, which, when you're using horse archers, fire and flee is the way to go. I like this one with the bow cocked as if he's just shot and it's sort of rocked forward in his hand. We have another horse archer. Not that you're going to have anything except horse archers here. The javelins I probably wouldn't use myself. There are 2 quivers per set of 4, so half of your cavalry could be armed with javelins if that is your want in life. And there's our 4th firing. So build very quickly. Overall look is fantastic. Even things like the bow quiver, the leather tether at the top is sort of hooked, so it allows you to glue it in and attach to the belt without it sticking out at a weird angle. So there's been some thought gone into the actual split of the mold and also how the figure is going to be glued together. Another thing I like, if I bring in my trusty little measuring stick. So often the horses can be quite large, but this is 24 mil to the top of the rump. Even the sort of the tallest, most galloping are around about 23, and then to the top of the head you're looking 35 mil, 30, 34, 35. So they've got the smaller pony look. They're not massive chargers, which is great, because that's something that crops up a lot, that the horses are too big for the period, so to speak. But these, I mean, if you're looking Dark Age Roman horse archers, 12 in a bag is fantastic, and there's enough customization and modularity in there to make sure that all 12 look fairly distinct, and all you need to do then is glue the shields onto the arms and apply your transfers. Obviously I've left mine off so I can get the back of the shield and the tunics painted first, but there we have it. So there we go, really nice set of 12 horse archers, either for your late Roman or your busies, or some of the other nations that joined the Eastern Roman Empire later on. Palmyrian, I think, would also work in this case. But yeah, if you fancy doing a bit of Belisarius retaking Italy from the Goths, then you can certainly do that with these. If you fancy fighting for the sort of defence of Britain against the invaders, the Picts and the like, then that would also work around here with these models. So another great set from Victrix. Really solid set of sculpts that have a good amount of modularity in there and differences. So if you're making multiple units, they can all be slightly different. And you can always mix and match them with the plastic infantry. So the 8 heads in here could expand somewhat, because I think there's 12 or so in the infantry box. But let me know what you think if you'll be picking these up for your own late Roman armies. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.